our topic is presenting or picking the best backup approach. And backing up your computer is the best protection you can have for all the bad stuff that's sitting out there on the internet. Viruses, spyware, ransomware, spam, all sorts of things are out on the internet that can cause your computer serious problems. And having a good backup is the ultimate protection against all that junk. And so here's an ad put out by PCmatic as 3 or 4 months ago. And it says PCmatic is all you'll ever need. That's misleading, folks, because it is not all you'll ever need. It's a good product, but it is not the ultimate product. And the problem with using just a tool like PCmatic is that they only work effective 70 to 90%. PCmatic's one of the better ones, but some of these backup, some of these protection utilities are 30% of the time they'll let viruses and other bad stuff through to kill your computer. Not only that, these products cannot correct the problem after your computer has been attacked. And so it's the Humpty Dumpty game. Once Humpty Dumpty has been broken, once the egg's been broken, no way to put it back together again with those tools only. And that's why a good backup can not only prevent these things from happening, but can also fix the problem after the attack. Every user needs to back up their computer on a regular basis. And we'll talk about what regular basis is in a few minutes here. Nobody should depend on just an antivirus software or something like that to protect your computer. Now, the problem with picking with backups is that there's too many of them out there of different types. Some of the earliest ones are file backups, and frankly, we still have people using file backups today. A lot of them are informal. Clone backups came along next in the history, but again, clone backups are ineffective in a lot of cases. And so we'll look at each one of these 4 different backups that's available, describe it for you, and show you what the strengths and weaknesses of that particular approach are. And hopefully one of this bunch will end up being a good backup utility we can all depend on. Starting with file backups. Shortly after the first IBM XT product came out that had a hard drive in it, a backup utility was invented and put on the market. And what this was a file backup utility. What it would do is it would list all of the files that were on that hard drive. And then you were provided with that list, and you could check off which files you wish to back up. And then following that list of files you wanted to back up, the utility would actually copy those files to some other device. In those early days, it was probably a floppy, a 5 1/4-inch floppy drive, if some of you can remember back that far. There were some problems with it. It was a partial backup approach at best. Windows, you could back up the Windows files, but you could never restore them and have a working system again. So backing them up was worthless. Same with program files. Only your data files could be backed up effectively this way. And if you forgot to put on the list or check off on the list one of your key data files, it didn't get backed up. So it was subject to human error. And today, file backup approaches are really pretty poor. No one should rely exclusively on a file backup approach. The next one to come along was something called a clone backup approach, or a disk copy backup approach. How this product worked, it would copy the entire contents of one hard drive to a second hard drive. And so that was everything on that first hard drive got copied across, including your operating system, including all your application programs, all your data files. The entire hard drive was just duplicated. And then if anything should happen to your main hard drive, you would remove that main hard drive from your computer, plug the clone drive in its place, and you would be back up and running again very quickly with programs and everything backed up. So this was a better approach than the file backup approach, but still it had some issues. It did back up the entire hard drive. It was a simple concept. Lots of people liked to hold in their hand a hard drive that was their total backup. The disadvantage, it took one physical hard drive for each backup that you had to make or that you were making. And you needed a minimum of 3. And most people today only make one clone backup of their main hard drive. They need a minimum of 3 just to prevent the chance that their one clone was not made correctly. And if you had to use that clone, swapping it and putting it inside your computer was a cumbersome process. And a lot of people just frankly don't like to tear their computers apart, get inside the box and start swapping out parts within their computer box. And so for most users, it's a poor backup approach, even today. But we do have a few people still using the clone backup approach. I recommend against it. The third backup approach was similar to the file backup approach in that it would give you, it would make a list of all the files on your hard drive. Only this time, those files were copied across to the internet and stored on an online server, not on a local device. And so they had some issues. First, they, in most cases, were still a partial backup approach, because even though you could back up your Windows files, you couldn't restore them adequately, or your program files. But Acronis fixed that a couple of years ago with one of their earlier releases. So today you can actually back up everything on your hard drive to the Acronis cloud and restore it if you need to. The second problem is that this is a very slow backup media. Going across the internet to the cloud runs real slow. And while it may take you 20, 30 minutes or an hour or so to restore from an external hard drive, to restore from a storage location on the cloud, may take you 2 or 3 days. You did not hear me wrong, folks. Days to restore that information. And so it was a very slow backup approach. Not only that, you had to rent the space on the cloud to store your backups. And this costs not real expensive, but $50, $60 a year, something in that range. So while this is a good backup approach for a few key data files, it is a poor backup approach for your entire computer system. And so we get down to the last backup approach, which is called the image backup approach. And this was developed in the early 90s by a company called Ghost. And Ghost developed this technique where they would take all of the files that were stored on your main hard drive and copy them to a second device and compress them and condense them in the copy process so that they would be stored on the second drive and didn't take up the entire second drive. Then if anything should happen to your main hard drive, you would run the restore function, which would pick up this compressed backup image and re-expand it and rebuild your main hard drive. And so this was a much better approach. It had several advantages. It did back up the entire hard drive just like the clone approach, but you ended up being able to have 30 or 40 backups on one external drive versus one backup that you would have on the clone approach. And you could usually restore the backup to a failing main hard drive. 80–90% of the time, the hard drive was failing, not for physical reasons, but the software on it became corrupted. And so it wouldn't run properly, but the drive itself was perfectly okay. So with the image backup approach, you simply rebuild that image on your main hard drive so that it'll run again. And you also had the ability to go out and from a backup, find and retrieve individual files or a small group of files. And so this was a real advantage. The only disadvantage one could even mention was the additional restore step. If something happened to your main hard drive, you would have to restore it. Now, folks, let me tell you, I can restore an entire hard drive faster than you can tear your computer apart, pull out the main hard drive, replace it with a clone drive, and then put everything back together again and bring your system up and running. And so it really, I don't think, is a disadvantage at all. And it's a heck of a lot easier to restore an image backup than a clone backup. This is an excellent backup approach. It's the one all businesses use today. It's the one 80% of all end users use. And if you, since you should be backing up your hard drive, I recommend that you look at only the image backup approach as your main backup approach. Now, under the image backup approach, where do you save your backups? You can use CDs or DVDs if you want to. May take a whole stack of them to contain all of the information on one large hard drive. You could store it out on the internet. Again, remember, that's a very, very slow process. What I recommend is an external hard drive. Get one dedicated just to your backups. It doesn't have to be 4 gigabytes or 4 terabytes. It can be the same size as your main hard drive inside your computer and still do many, 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 many backups on it. And the other advantage of using an external hard drive is between backups, you can disconnect that external hard drive, and that protects it from viruses and other bad stuff that may be attacking your computer. How often should you back up using the image backup approach? Large corporations are going to back up every few minutes. Small businesses need to back up on a daily basis all of their computers. An end user, probably not as important to back them up every day, but at least once a week needs to be done. Once a week. Now, I've had people come up to me and say, you know, I bought your product last year and I backed up my computer last year and I may back it up again next year. Folks, if you're only backing up your computer once a year, that backup is so obsolete, it's not even worth doing. You need to back up regularly, once a week at a minimum. Now, if you have partitioned your main hard drive, you may have separate partitions for your data files and your photographs and your programs and other things. And if you do that, then you've got a more flexible approach that you can use. Out on my website, I've written an article about backing up your data files separate from your program files and Windows operating system files. And that's an even better way to go. But at least a weekly backup of your entire hard drive is an important way to do backups. Now let's talk about the restore side. If your main hard drive should crash, you won't even be able to boot this hard drive or boot the computer up. So how do you get to run it to rebuild your main hard drive? First thing you do, you may have to, if the physical drive is damaged, you may have to pull it out and put a brand new physical drive in the computer. 90% of the time, you won't need to do that. Second step, attach an external hard drive that has your stored backup image to this dead computer. And now the third step is you've got to be able to run a program in that computer. You boot from a true image CD that you create when you install the product. That will put in enough of a backup utility to do the restore function. And it will start picking up your backup image and rebuilding your main hard drive. And in literally a few minutes, probably less than an hour, you will have a computer system that's running again just like it was when you last backed it up. Now, I end up restoring my entire hard drive every 2 or 3 years whenever the main hard drive fails. What I do more frequently is to restore individual files. I forgot to save an important file, or I saved it at a location and now I can't find it, or some way or the other it became corrupt. And so I can restore individual files from my backup. You just attach your external hard drive that has your backup images on it to the computer, and then you run Windows Explorer. You don't even run True Image. You just run Windows Explorer. It can find the individual lost file and simply copy and paste it back on your main computer. Very, very easy to retrieve files from several months ago that are still stored in your various backups. Now, when you make a new backup, you never replace the old backup, but you put it on your external hard drive in addition to the old backup. And the following week, you make a new backup and you add that to the collection. And so you may end up with 30 or 40 backup images on this external hard drive. At some point, you're going to run out of space, and then you'll have to erase a few of the oldest backups. But in general, you want multiple backups sitting out there on this external hard drive. let's say the last backup you made contained a virus you didn't know about. You don't want to restore that virus to your computer. So you go back to the backup before that one and restore that one, the one without the virus. So a lot of possibilities in this entire product. Now, True Image comes in 3 flavors. Acronis is the name of the company. Headquarters is in Boston, and a lot of the development work is in Russia. It's True Image is the name of their product. 2017 is the current release. Came out last August. Runs on either a PC or a Mac. So if you have both products or both computers, you can back up with True Image 2017. It's a whole suite of products. The image backup is the primary one, but it can do file backups. It can do internet backups. It can do continuous backups, which are sort of automatic backups every 5 minutes. It can do clone backups. And then there's some other utilities that come with it. So it's a full suite of products. And this one, I sell it, offer it to my user group friends for half the price that Acronis charges. This last fall, Acronis offered a subscription basis of obtaining True Image. This gives you an annual license. Instead of $25, it's only $20 for the annual license. And anytime during that 1 year, you get a free upgrade to whatever the latest version is. So when the next version, 2018, comes out, you get a free upgrade to 2018 and can continue to run this product until your annual license runs out. And then you spend another $20 and you upgrade it for another year. It also is the only product of the 2 that will have Acronis Cloud backup built into it. It comes with 50 gigabytes of free space, which may be enough to back up your key data files. But you can add more space if you really want to do more extensive backups. This product also allows you to back up your Facebook. Now, I have a Facebook account. I use it occasionally. I do read it all the time. But my wife is very active in her Facebook account. And if she should lose her Facebook account, she would be devastated. But with this one, we can back up her computer or her Facebook to the internet. And so she's always protected if something should happen to her Facebook. Another nice thing they've done this year is they've expanded their technical support from 1 week or 1 month, used to be 30 days of technical support, and then you paid for it. And now it's for an entire 2 years of technical support before the product is no longer supported for free. And that support, if you have the base product, is either it's either email or chat support. But those that have the subscription product can use either email, chat, or can call technical support directly and talk to a person and be able to get their support problems handled over the phone. A lot of people have been asking for that. And the third product is what we call True Image New Generation. It is also a subscription product, but it's a combination of 2 things. It's a backup utility as well as a anti-ransomware utility combined into one product. The annual subscription fee here is $50. That's at my half price cost, $100 if you get it through Acronis. And it gives you access to the Acronis cloud, only now you get a whole terabyte of space on the Acronis cloud for free. And they have expanded their technical support to premium technical support, which is a 24-hour support limit, still phone, email, and chat. The three new products that handle ransomware, the first is New Active Protection. You know, ransomware is one of the most viral problems that we have on the internet today. How ransomware works is that it gains access to your computer through a virus, through a website that is set up to attack your computer, and it goes in, and what it does, it encrypts your important data files. And so when you try to go in and get to your Quicken financial records or your stock report or whatever, they're all encrypted. You can no longer access them. And then the ransomware company will contact you and say, we will put your files back. We're holding them in ransom right now, but we'll put them back for a fee of $100, $200, $300, whatever they feel they want to charge. And you're really at a tough point at this point, because if you send them a credit card to pay their ransom, who knows what they're going to do with that credit card and your card number. You'll want to cancel it immediately thereafter. So there's some real problems in dealing with ransomware. The Southern Los Angeles University or college was recently held up for ransomware for several $100,000. And so once they attack your system, they can really charge anything they want to get your information back. Now, with New Active Protection, it detects the minute they start encrypting files on your computer, and they block any future encryption. And then they go out and unencrypt any files that they have already encrypted. And so this is built into the new image, True Image, new generation product. The next thing is something called Acronis Notary. This ability will guarantee, notarized, guarantee that your backup image files are not changed from when you use them. Because another trick of these ransomware products is they will go out and immediately destroy any backup images they can find. But of course, with the Acronis Notary, they can't access and can't destroy your backup images. And you can even protect those images with the Acronis A-Sign. It's electronic signature that lets you sign the protection of your backup images. So a very important new addition. It's new generation subscription product of True Image. What I'd like to do now is just give you a quick look at the True Image product and how easy it is to set up. This is True Image down the left side. The first item is the backup. By clicking on this button, it sets up the rest of the screen to do backups. It also can do something called archives. It'll scan your hard drive for any old, unused files, remove them from your hard drive, put them in a safe place, and then clean them off your hard drive. Frees up space on your hard drive from a lot of old, unused files. Synchronization allows you to share individual files with others in a particular sync group. I've got a sync group set up with all of my kids. And so we can exchange photographs. And I have a folder on my computer. When we take new pictures of my wife and I, we simply put those new pictures in this folder. And in a few minutes, automatically, those pictures are shared with my 4 kids and their families. A neat way to get pictures of all of our grandkids in. Whole bunch of other tools available with this product. A dashboard allows one individual in the household to sort of do the backup or manage all the backups through for the entire family. This way you could do your backups from your cell phone if you want to. And it will go out and manage all the backups on all the computers in your family. Your account simply tells you the type of product you have. It will also allow you to look at your serial number. Haven't got mine activated at this point. And settings have some additional settings that are used. So let's go back to backup. I've got each computer comes with a basic backup of your entire PC. That's this box. And then where is it going to back up to? You can back it up to the cloud, or you can back it up to a particular file. Let's go out and find a file on my PC. And where are my backups? They're down here a little bit. My backups. Okay. Open up there. Being a little temperamental. There it is. Oh, that's downloads. Wrong one. Sorry about that. There's my backups. Well, I'm having trouble getting that to connect, but let me show you. Let's get out of that, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up a brand new backup. Now, I've got all of my data files in a separate backup or data partition. So I'm going to add a backup task to my computer just to back up those data files. And so there's that backup task. I'm going to call this data, because that's where I want to back up my data. And so instead of taking the entire hard drive, I'm going to select a particular partition, and I don't want to back up all of the partitions, but only my data partition. And click on OK. And then where am I going to store it? I will store it on my backup hard drive. And let's find a particular folder for it. This PC. And again, my backup files. Wonder if I've got a bad hard drive out there. Having trouble even setting things up. All right, I guess I'm not going to get much further, but that's the product. It is normally extremely easy to use. I apologize for the problems. One last slide, and then we'll take some questions. I am not an employee of Acronis, but I have represented them for 10, 12 years to the user group community. And I've got a special user group price that I offer. They have two basic products. True Image is their backup utility. It comes in 3 flavors. And then Disk Director is a partitioning utility. There's only one option there. Acronis sells each of these products for $50. If you want it on a CD, it's $20 more. I sell it at half price. So the basic product is $25 for 1 license. And if you get 3 licenses, it's only $50. In other words, you buy 2 licenses, I'll give you a 3rd license for free. And so it really is a great price. And instead of charging you $20 for an entire CD or for a CD to be mailed to you, I only charge $5, which covers my shipping expenses. Folks, that's the end of our presentation. We've got a few minutes left. Handle any questions.
Okay, I'm going to bring up the chat. Okay.
Okay.
I just wiped it out. Okay, hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Let's go back here and see what we got. See, I'm trying to read through these things here. Okay, and the question they had about this annual fee, is that $20 per device?
Yes, these are, Acronis has always charged a license fee per device, and you can only install it on 1 device. If you attempt to install the same license on another device, it'll give you a warning saying that it's already installed on one. You can't install it on another, but you can easily move it between devices, a license fee. Okay. So if you sell your old computer that it was installed on, you can have it installed and moved to your new computer when you get that one set up.
Okay. Okay, someone made a comment that Google Drive does some of the same things and allows sharing of files. And they were wondering the advantage of Acronis.
Google Drive does what?
They said Google Drive does the same thing and allows sharing of files. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just reading that somebody says that Google Drive, I guess, allows you to back up or something. Okay,
there's some sharing of files between different products. Some of the Dropbox products and things allow you to set up a way to share files. It's not as automated as this one. With this one, with True Image synchronization, you simply place a file in your synchronization folder, and Acronis will detect that change and automatically share it with others. And they the appropriate files will be shared automatically. They don't have to go out to a Dropbox or whatever
Okay.
and look to see if they got anything new.
Okay.
A little more powerful.
Okay. And they were saying what settings when making a backup that you would, what settings differ when making a backup that you want to use to migrate files to a new computer?
Okay, this is a backup utility. It's intended to back up your computer, and if something happens to the main computer, restore it back to the same computer. It is not a data migration utility.